Oh shit! It's lightning outside. Ciao. Kachiga, kachiga.
I just want to preface everybody. What episode started? Ed goes, "Guy, I got the joke this week. Don't worry about it." And as soon as I saw her looking out the window, I was like, "Oh fuck!"
I've never been more proud of myself for a joke.
That was very good. I didn't see it coming. So,
Well, we're in high spirits, so we may as well cheers to that. And I guess, as they would say, smash some glass. You know what I mean? Just a bit of a.
Here at the glass table, we're just like you.
I like to play football, I like to watch football, and I like to talk about football.
Yay! I like to play football, and I like to watch football, and I like to talk about football.
But we do things a little bit differently around here.
That could be a dream, Jared.
stupid dick.
Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Glass Table, an AFL podcast for you that celebrates all things great, including a Port Adelaide win and a Saints win. And I guess I need someone to do that this week, just to celebrate the Saints side of things. And who else to do it rather than the multi-purposeful, talented human being and Jared Thomas. Hello, JT.
Hello. That's a very nice intro of you.
I'm nice when we win.
Oh, I was going to say, as you said, we're in very, very high spirits. Today is a high spirits day. And we said that Saturday night after the Saints win. We said, boy, oh boy, this week's episode is going to be fun. And it is. Our best content comes when we're in good moods. And not only was it a winning round for both of us, it was a winning day. It was a Port start at, 3:40, I think it was your time, or 3:45, whatever it was your time. Saints started at 7:35 my time, and by the time 10:30 rolled around my time, we were both winners. We came out of the night winners, and we literally said at the time, we were like, "Oh boy, we're gonna in for a fun episode." So I'm very, very glad to be here. We've got beers to celebrate, and exciting times on this beautiful Monday night.
How good are our stubbies, by the way?
I was going to say, so mine says Jared Stubby, which was a Christmas present from this year, Anthony. And I usually have a Carlton Dry bottle in here, but I have a Carlton Draft. And if you'd like to describe yours, which is very fancy and shiny and new.
Ka-chow. It's the retro Port Adelaide stubby holder, the Guernsey that they're going to be wearing against the Saints in round 4, which I might as well put it up. You've already seen it, but, it got announced and we may as well talk about it because it's the hottest topic in football right now. Because,
hottest is an understatement.
Hottest is... I like what Dan Gorringe said about it. We're going to thunderbolt your souls with this thing. That is so hot.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful jumper.
Growing up with that jumper, and names come to mind of the Burgoynes, Dean Brogan. I throw in Peter Walsh, Stewie Jew, Brian Predray.
I think of Stewie Jew. Stewie Jew is my immediate flick when I see that.
It's just iconic. So I can't wait to wear it against the Saints in round 4. Obviously, we've still got another round to do before that, and we'll probably touch on it more next week once we come in after being back-to-back winners again. But obviously, very excited for Port to be doing that. Stupid Sexy Guernseys we love. And speaking of Stupid Sexy, we may as well get straight into it.
Oh, how's the segue?
Yeah. That's done.
Stupid Sexy.
Yeah, well played. Might as well get straight into it and, do a bit of a Sam Lawler and get excited.
It's getting brought up every time.
Yeah, it's funny. I love how the kids, by the way, just before we get into Stupid Sexy, the kids, one week got Sam Lawler getting excited, kicking one of the winning goals, and shorts are too tight for himself. And sometimes as a kid, you do get excited. And it's a bit premature. Then you got Harley Reid just sticking his finger up at people. You know, it's
different areas of where they're at, I think.
there is a road I could take that would just be cancelled instantly, but not going to. But yeah, very interesting what the kids are doing out and about at the moment. And Harley Reid changed his profile picture for a brief second to
that was very funny.
Cousins.
I did see that today. Very, very funny. At least he's got a sense of humor about him, Harley, because that was very funny. I did enjoy that.
It was very funny, but round 2 was obviously a lot more stupid sexier than round 1. Actually, you know what? I'm going to describe it as stupid sexy round 1 because round 1 didn't happen. So
no.
We're undefeated.
How good? 1-0, baby.
1-0, baby. You. Who was your stupid sexy this week?
My stupid sexy. Now, look, I try and do what I can to not be biased on this podcast, but sometimes I just got to do it, especially coming off a win like that. We all know, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, but there's one player on the Saints team that I think just doesn't get enough love, and he has done something on Saturday that Saints fans have been calling for the last few years, and his fellow draft class mates get a lot of love. There's 2 of them in particular that get a lot of love because they are very good footballers, and you know, one of them recently signed a contract, the other one hopefully will sign a contract very, very soon. But this player on the weekend, not only did he shut off Geelong's best player, he also was probably our top 3 on the ground, and that is Marcus Windhager. Marcus Windhager, this man, right, kicks the opener for one, which when you're, and like I heard them say this on, I think it was a Sunday Footy show yesterday, when you're a tagger and the person getting tagged is like, okay, clearly this guy's on me, and they kick a goal, that hurts the heart because you're like, damn, this guy's doing a bit. Kick 2 and had 25 touches, more than Max Holmes did. Marcus Windhager, well played, son. You had a unbelievable game of football, and I was just absolutely loving it. And like I said, Naz gets a lot of love, and he played very, very well. Mitch Owens gets a lot of love. He played very, very well. But Marcus Windhager, I thought, was the best of the 3 on the weekend. He's a very stupid, sexy man, and he's done a beautiful, beautiful job. So, Marcus, well played, sir.
Took the wind out of Geelong's sails, didn't he?
Absolutely, he did.
Absolutely, and I love that. Very nice, great choice. We obviously, enjoyed our wins on the weekend, so it'd be foolish of me not to pick someone from our win on the weekend. And I saw the AFL Players Association pinpointing
I think I know this one.
them up against each other, and Marcus Windhager and Jace Burgoyne, but Jace isn't it.
Oh.
No, I just wanted everyone to go vote for Jace because he was
go vote for Marcus. He was very good.
No, Jace. Anyway, I'm going to get straight to the point. He was the inaugural Stupid Sexy, and I think it would be foolish of me not to select him, playing an all-time record for Port Adelaide games ever. 393 games. He'll play his 400th if he plays every game from here on in till round 8, where he'll play in a showdown for his 400th total Port Adelaide games. Travis Boak is my Stupid Sexy. Now, everyone knows I love him. I don't have to go on about how great of a human being he is, but we talk about, everyone harps on about the side bottoms who kick winners against the Dogs. We talk about Pendlebury's who still have that magnificent sidestep and are able to slow down the speed to 0.5. We talk about, Tex, who's still kicking goals and having, good games of footy for the Crows. Trav Boak's in the conversation. That's a man that's 37, 38 years old, and he's breaking records. And if he keeps playing the way he's playing in the first 2 games this year, he'll be playing next year and will play 400 AFL games. To top it off, the man has launched an ambassador / investment role in a alcohol company, and when they start doing that, Jared, it's called Gravity. He won't see this, but I'll send it to him. I'm not a big seltzer fan, but I might lose Gravity just getting into that. So there's a double-edged sword for you. Bokey's got all the boxes ticked. And I tell you what, he's going to look bloody fucking good in this Guernsey, let me tell you.
I'm very, very excited to see him in that jumper. I'm not going to lie. And that is a very good pick. I think That is a very, like you said, he was the inaugural. He is the poster boy, as we say. He is right. He flashes on the screen at the start of every one of these, and
Yeah, he does.
he's the man. So yeah, Trav, again, well played. We posted that tweet obviously about when he played his first Port Adelaide game, which you look back, Connor Ruzzi was 7, Butters was 6, Sam Laylor wasn't 1, and all these different things were happening. So congratulations, Trav, for continuing on. And like you said, he has played very good to start the year. There is no harm in him whatsoever continuing on. And hopefully, I do hope he plays until next year and gets to the 400 total AFL games. But yeah, absolutely sensational pick.
There's got to be a point where he gets to where he just gets carried off after every game because he'll just be breaking records every time. He'll be 40 years old and he'll be playing game 450, or we've got to carry him off again, or he breaks some sort of record in the AFL and VFL, AFL record. Yeah, he might be carried off every game. I feel sorry for Pep and Ollie Wine's shoulders because
they're going to be doing it every time.
They're going to be doing it every time.
They need just the oldest guys to do it every time, and they're like, "Fuck, man, it's getting a bit."
Ollie Wines might retire before Trav.
Might happen.
You do realise Ollie has a heart issue. Like, don't let him carry more weight than he has to.
Oh, Trav. So
also, Ollie Wines is a ruckman apparently now. That's
he's joining him and Paddy Cripps are bona fide ruckman, which is just incredible to see.
A few things we saw from round 2. Obviously, I think we just jump straight into the top topic this week. And you know what? We talk about other teams. We cover a lot, and we don't intend to half the time. But God damn it, Jared! I'm just going to talk about our teams.
How good is this? How good is it to just have a win? How good is it to roll into a Monday recording and be like, you know what? Happy days, happy times, good times.
Very good chance it happens this week again. And next week is the one where one of us will walk out happy.
One of us will be very happy, one won't be. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I can see how that goes in that Guernsey, let me tell you. You have no colour in your stripes after that one, Chief. But the Saints, probably the biggest upset of the weekend against the Cats. And a lot of people obviously talk about, the last week results against the Crows and how much gravity pull does that have to the season. And we saw the Crows bounce back again and they did the job against the Dons. You come in against a Cats outfit who's just absolutely pantsed Freo. We know form early in the season isn't always to relate to, but this was something else. This was a St Kilda outfit I haven't seen, even in their good form over the last couple of years. This was electrifying. And, you do this in round 14, round 15, you run out that game, 50-point winners. Round 2 is unfortunate because not a lot of people have the capacity as they would in a few rounds' time. But what was your take on it? Obviously, you were there in all different angles and all different spots. Yeah. So what was one thing you took away from that was, you could tell people that was different to others?
My thing, like you said, probably the biggest upset of the round, which is very nice to be that team. Because, usually we aren't that team. And it's nice to be that team to have silenced the doubters, yes.
I was actually going to say I thought we were the upset team because we bet 7th place and we were 8 at the start.
It's a good point, actually, beating that red hot Tigers out.
Yeah.
But,
anyway, continue.
So yeah, like you said, it's very nice to be that team for one. I tell you when I gained confidence for this game. Wasn't confident at all going in. However, I sat at my lounge room. I sat out in my lounge room and I watched Adelaide pants Essendon. And I sat there and I watched to just about the end of the game. There was about 5 minutes to go and I left. And I went, maybe Adelaide's just good. Maybe we're not bad. Maybe Adelaide's really good. So I then went from, we're not going to win this game to, you know what? We might be all right. We might actually be pretty good here. And then I got to the game and I told you this story. We're part of the way through the game and Michael Wilson posts a photo and it's Lenny Hayes' son, Nick Rior's son, and Lee Montagne's son, posing arm in arm on the field. And I went, fuck, we're winning this game up. And sure enough, we did it. And while the win was fantastic, and like you said, we win. Later in the year, we run that game out. We were a very, very young team on the weekend. A lot of players that haven't played at the level for a very long time. I knew that was going to get close at the end. Even when we were up like sort of 6 goals, I was like, they're gonna come back. Like they're not going to lie down, Geelong. And so I knew it was going to be close. So I loved more than anything. And people can look at it and be like, oh, you're 41 up and only won by 7. I look at it as we fucking held on. Not only did we win by 7, it got to 7 points with about 5 minutes to go, and they were just peppering constantly, just over and over and over and over. And every single time our backline held up, which was so good to see, because it's one of those things that you beg for as a fan. Just hold on, like just do what you can, and they did. What I've seen is like I love the fans, like the people like, oh man, like St Kilda had a win, that's really great. What I want to see more of from media and fans alike is that we actually played a good brand of football. That was a rare, entertaining game of St Kilda football. You can watch that game and be like, that was a fun game. Both teams played really well. A lot of times people watch Saints wins and go, fuck, that was a shit game of football. But it wasn't. It was a good game of football. Like you posted the tweet, it was sexy footy. And it was sexy footy. And had a win, packed Marvel House. There was, 36,000, 40,000 people there. Packed house, full of Saints members, full of Saints fans, went off at the final siren. Beautiful vibes. And again, players to come back still. Mateus Philippo's still away. King's still away. Henry's still away. You win that game without a lot of your key players. Amazing for the rest of the season. Amazing.
Tell us your take on. I sit here now and I look across the league and I'm like, there are so many great recruits that are already participating quite well for their sides. The thing that I find really nice here is Jack Macrae's performances. Even in the first game against the Crows, he was very solid. This week he comes up and he's playing a midfield role, and not only does he do his 35, but his defensive efforts, his tackles. That's something the Saints have been few and far between with. And then I look, 9 clearances. So not only is he tackling, he's also getting the pill out. 440 metres gained for a bloke that's just... Yeah, his game on the weekend was unbelievable, and it needs to be recognised. There was even a few pundits and a few footy reporters that didn't even have him in their best. And it's like, what are you doing? At this current stage, it's round 2, opening round. There's been 3 rounds total. He is the current recruit of the year.
Yeah, so you've actually led me perfectly here into the segment that we started a couple of weeks ago called JTMZ, where we come up, where I just, if I see a thing during the week that I'm like, that's so stupid. The one that I saw this week was from our friend Kane Corns. Now Kane Corns, right? I understand that his role is to create shock, and I actually respect a lot of what he says because he's right quite often. However, he is wrong about this. He has said that Jack Macrae is not a damaging midfielder. And I just say, look at that game. Look at that game. Look at the Adelaide game. He is, in my eyes, and like I don't think it's even me being biased. I've seen this everywhere. Jack Macrae is absolutely the recruit of the year this year. Obviously 2 games, and that's fair. But he already looks like our runaway best and fairest winner. Like if he doesn't win the best and fairest this year, there will be something wrong. Like he will have injured. He won't lose it based on other players will play better than him. He will have been injured. That's the only way he's going to lose it this year. He has been incredible, and he was amazing on the weekend, like genuinely amazing, and he proved how damaging he was. Had a lot of score involvements, a lot of inside 50s. Like he was fantastic, and he is a purebred midfielder, and people I think he's older than he is. Like he's 30. He's not that old. Like he's still playing great football. He just happened to be playing in a midfield that had Libba and Bont and all these players, and Bevo wanted to go younger with Richards and Fraser and these kinds of people. He's very good at football, Jack Macrae. And I don't think, I think people are now going to realize that and be like, oh, okay, he's still the Jack Macrae that we know, the 3-time All-Australian, the Premiership player, the Gary Ayres medalist. He is still Jack Macrae, and he's fantastic and absolutely, so far, 2 games, recruit of the year.
Unbelievable stuff from the Saints overall, and a vibe that they can take into this week against the Tigers and feel a lot better about themselves. One thing I took away from the game as well is Geelong don't actually have a damaging midfielder at the moment. And Max Holmes is a 2-position player. He's damaging on the halfback flank, but they want him to be in the midfield. And no matter where you put him, he runs. And we saw even late in the game, he was running out of defence, and every touch he had, he's tried to be damaging. But the Cats have never been a big possession team. They've always damaged you, and they get you in the big moments, and people will raise the qualifying final against Port and all that stuff. But when push comes to shove, your top disposal getter for the day is
22
Lawson.
Or something like that?
Yeah, 22 is Lawson Humphreys, and then you got Zach Guthrie on 21, and then Grindmire's 20. I think your prime midfielder is Tom Atkins, who's just getting 20. Everyone else is mid-teens, low teens, and I don't know. I think they lack a bit of spark, and they're going to have players like Jack Bowes, who one week will have 25 and kick a goal and be great, but he puts out a performance like 10 possessions and does nothing. Like, I mean, I personally can't attest to the style they play in the first half, but if they're not getting the footy, they're not damaging. And we saw that even against the Dockers late in that third quarter. Once they couldn't defend.
Yeah.
And I think this is where they will come unstuck against teams like St Kilda, and they've done it in the past. Last year they did as well, and they can't beat them at Marvel. So
it's fucking bizarre, by the way. The most bizarre winning streak any team has in the league right now is St Kilda beating Geelong 4 times in a row at Marvel.
It's weird. So next year the AFL will schedule it either at GMHBA or they'll put it at the MCG.
What it'll be, they'll go one at GMHBA and one at Gather Round. All right, I'm gonna put a plan in right now. Ready? Here we go. Stamping my plan right now. If this comes out next year, 2026 fixture release, we'll play Geelong twice because we always do. One will be a GMHBA, one will be a Gather Round. Guarantee it. Stamping my fucking thing right now. It's happening. But I completely agree with the Geelong thing. Like you said, we had, I think, the top 4 possession getters, maybe 5. We had McRae, Sinclair, Windhager, and Mason Wood were all higher than any of the Geelong players possession-wise. First half, all over them. Like, Dangerfield had, I think, 6 touches to half-time. Holmes was the same. Jeremy Cameron had 3, maybe. Like, their prime movers did not get going until the last quarter when the game was just about done. Like, Dangerfield had a great last quarter. Holmes was better in the last quarter. But, again, damage was done by that point. And they're losing Bailey Smith, which is, that's a big loss, absolutely. But you can't just rely on that, especially with a player that is pretty injury prone. Bailey Smith is just coming off, an ACL. You can't rely on a player like that to be, your saving grace in points like this. Yeah, they've got weaknesses, Geelong, and they had a young team out there, admittedly, but if they're going to be that top 4 team, the lot of teams pick them to be, then they need to definitely sort up their spots.
Come up with this thing just then, and I thought this would be good. We know Dan Gorringe does Forward Watch and everything like that, and I don't want to tamper with people's things, but I think I've come up with this thing. Maybe we have 3 teams a week where we just sit there and go, who are you not watching this week? And I've decided to give 3 teams the who I'm not watching, and unfortunately one of the teams I have to forcefully watch because my team's playing him. So after the performances so far this year, Jared Thomas, who are the 3 teams you won't be watching? I'll give you mine, so then you have some time to think. But I'll go straight out the bat and say the Melbourne Football Club I won't be watching this week. I won't be watching Carlton this week. Unfortunately, I have to watch Essendon, but if I wasn't a Port fan, I wouldn't be watching Thursday night.
That's fair enough. Understandable. I'll go. Well, basically, I would have said the same one. I'm not picking Melbourne. Wouldn't watch Melbourne. Essendon's almost like a funny watch at points like this because they continuously find ways to be very funny to just watch as a team. So I would just about pick them. But I still think Carlton has hope. So I am going to still pick Essendon. So I'm going to go with Melbourne. I'm going to go with Essendon. And this one's kind of a cheat because either of these 2 teams I could pick. And it's the final game on Sunday, the Western Derby, whatever they want to call it. 18th versus 17th, West Coast Freo. I wouldn't watch that game. And there's a chance that I don't. It's late on a Sunday. I could just not. I could just turn the TV off and say I'm good. So I'm going to cheat and say either of those 2 teams as my third. Because
so basically WA.
Yeah, any of the state of WA. I don't really care about it at the minute.
Good God, I feel sorry for the Broome Football Club then, eh?
Just when they play those 2 games there.
That's very interesting. I kind of like that because the Blues had their shock round 1 loss.
Have like watchable players, I can look at the Blues and be like,
can you? Like, you sit there and go, you almost believe into the false hope that they're giving their fans. And then you sort of get let down yourself because you're trying everything you can to defend them. It's like, I don't understand how they'll pinch a win this week, probably against the Dogs. But I just sit here and I go, I don't find you exciting anymore.
I completely agree. I think it's because firstly their forward line is in shambles right now. Kerno is not ready to go. Like they won't, but they should rest him this week. Again, they should wait until he's right, but they're not going to because they have they have nothing otherwise. But also their backline right now, other than Wettering, that's the only player in that entire backline where I'm like, you're a good footballer right now. Sard is playing bad football. McGovern and Haynes are playing some of the worst football you will ever watch, ever put to film. Those two. Tough to watch. And they got rid of players that right now are doing good. Matt Kennedy is playing exciting. Like he likes his football right now. Matt always hasn't played amazing, but he likes playing football. They got rid of two heart and soul guys, and right now they look soulless. That's what Carlton look like. They were only 20 points away from Hawthorn, but even like at their best on the night, they didn't even look like they were going to get close. And it was just like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Carlton.
Want to touch on North Melbourne and the D's game, because this game, to me, there is a blue and white tsunami hitting the AFL, and I think it's finally arrived. It's like, you know, when a musician teases a new album, but like won't quite release the single yet. They'll instead tease it with a TikTok, another TikTok, and then eventually you get sick of it. But then they release the full song and you're finally happy about it. Because, you know, they were in the thick of it. North Melbourne are here, Jared Thomas, and I'm very excited for it. And I'm so glad because finally we can sit here and go, Kanga, 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 Roo, Roo, Roo.
A well-deserved Kanga, Kanga, Kangaroo. Now, okay, before I get into anything here, one of my bold predictions this year were the Kangaroos weren't going to be very good. Now, right, here's what I want to say to that, to people that are like, you're already going back on it. No, I'm not. They have still won the same amount of games as the Tigers. I just want to preface that. Right now, they're sitting at 1-1, the same as the Tigers. And again, still round 2. North could lose every game from here. Could happen. You never know. I, however, thoroughly enjoyed watching this North game happen on the weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed that last quarter because it was just amazing to watch. And I think it's because, like, you look at North, and, you know, I'm a Saints fan as well. Like, two teams in Melbourne that aren't one of the big clubs. They aren't one of the clubs that get all the fans and everything like that. But when they win, the noise that can come out of Marvel Stadium when these teams are up and about and running is as loud as any. And in that last quarter, when North were in the middle of their absolute tear, Marvel was rocking. It was absolutely rocking. And it was heartwarming. Like, I look at the North fans, I'm like, that's what I'm like every week. So it's like, I appreciate that. And I appreciate what North do. And yeah, like, very, very fun to watch. And I hope they do well. I really do.
Just before we keep ticking along here, I just want to say, well done to Jack Darling and Luke Parker. They were basically, you know, short-strawed last year, sent off to a club where everyone was thought they were going to be a shambles, and they had the expectations. They've not only Jack Darling played his 300th and was celebrated beautifully, and I love the gesture of Andrew Gaff being there. But I also love the fact that they've come out. They have a job to do. Luke Parker is the most professional in terms of when it comes to game tape. His leadership is amazing. Jack Darling comes out. He's playing some of his best footy. Like, he looks really comfortable.
Yep.
So I wanted to congratulate those two because, again, like I said, they pulled the short straw last year. Got sent off to a club that was in a shambles. They're coming out. I know it's only been 2 games, but they've almost brought the cultures they were at. Like, Darling was at West Coast in their peak and has brought that sense of like that component that was missing for, you know, he's helping out. Yeah, 100%. So, and then you've got Luke Parker, who's been part of a professional football club like Sydney, parting losing grand final. So the differences they're making already, and you can see it, and you're on top of Davies Uniacke, Cherry, Zerha, Larky, Simpkin, Sheasel. Like, these players are they look like they're going to be the fun football club of this year.
I was literally thinking this after they had their win against Melbourne. I went, remember last year when Hawthorn had those few wins, and it was like this is such a fun team to watch. North look like that right now. I'm not saying they're going to be as good as what Hawthorn were last year, but they look really fun. And another player I want to add to that Darling Parker thing, Caleb Daniel, same deal.
Yeah.
Got the short straw at the Dogs, got pretty much kicked out the door by Bevo, which seems like everybody at the Dogs are these days, and said, you know what, I'm going to make it my way. Caleb Daniel's only 28 years old, and he is like, fine, I'm going to take this North team, and I'm going to make it my own. He had 31 touches on the weekend, 25 kicks, 77% efficiency. Caleb Daniel has always been one of the best kicks in the league, always, and he just proved it again. I looked, and I saw this thing today. Top 3, this is damning on the Dogs, and like, I used to do a lot of Dogs bad back in my time, so we all know that.
Yeah.
I looked at the top 3 fantasy averages on the weekend. Top 3 right now.
Oh, don't talk about fantasy with Kane Corns in your wing.
Oh, I know, right? Goodness me. Top 3 right now, though. Bailey Smith, Josh Dunkley, Jack McRae. Caleb Daniel had 31 touches on the weekend as well. If you were a Dogs fan, you'd be looking at that going, fuck, like, that hurts. That is a painful thing to look at because they've just lost. And, oh boy. Oh, dearie dear.
Now we're moving pretty quickly through it, and we were obviously not. We just wanted to make sure North got a mention there. But the other team that's really fun, and they're not. I don't think they're fun. I think they're scary, and I don't like it. I think the Crows are. Now, I don't know if we can judge on their performances based on a. I know St Kilda has a little bit more gravity now to it, but I think the Essendon ones, yeah, kind of downgrades what they did to the Saints, to be honest. But they're fun. The Crows are fun. They're very exciting, and what scares me the most about them is you better have the footy. Otherwise, if they're going forward,
they've
you
got the
have
footy.
Fogarty, you have Thilthorpe, you have Walker, and if it doesn't hit their hands, you've got Rochelle, you've got Rankin, there's a whole bunch of other people down there.
You got fucking all these guys.
Half a Rundle Mall's down there, Jared.
The craziest thing about Adelaide, I said this on the weekend, and I think I said this when I got to Marvel at night, and I said, man, Adelaide is so scary because they have...
Ben Keys?
Adelaide have 6 genuine Coleman medal chances all in their forward line. And I made the prediction in my work thing. I predicted Riley Thilthorpe to be either winning the Coleman or really, really close. And now I'm like, man, I thought maybe he just wasn't going to kick enough goals. No. His teammates are going to steal them all. They're all kicking 4 every week. Ben Keys is hilarious because he saves his best performances for Carlton and Essendon. He's got a special hatred for those two teams, and it's really funny to watch. Adelaide are terrifying. They've kicked an obscene amount of goals in the last 2 weeks. And I said last week, for me to consider Adelaide to be a genuine powerhouse, they needed to thump Essendon, and they did. So I stand there and I say, well played. The only thing I'm worried about is that they leaked 72 to St Kilda, who notoriously don't kick a lot of high scores, and 100 to Essendon, who didn't really have a forward line. So that's the only thing that I can even think about saying about them. But they are, you're absolutely right, terrifying. Scary.
I'm terrified of them because I think they're the type of side that if they make it, they will do damage. I don't think they'll win the flag. I think type of game style they're playing eventually...
Probably a year away. I reckon they're a year away from being a real genuine premiership chance.
And we could be wrong. Like Collingwood came from 17th and did the job. But I still think there's evidence to suggest they can absolutely make damage this year. But I don't think it'll be this year. I think the type of game style they're playing does tire out.
Yeah.
And, they obviously have travelled to the G and they broke the hoodoo. They come back this week against North. The game that I think will have substance to me, and it depends on how the team does this week, but round 4 with the Suns versus the Crows at People First Stadium. That's the one I'm eyeing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because the Crows last time they played, they got pumped. Like ferociously pumped. Like they got burnt, excuse the pun. So be interesting to see. But the Crows are kind of sit here and I go, you know what, I'm kind of happy you do anything. Because about damn time. Like
it's been a while since Adelaide have been good.
Where's this been in the last 6 years?
It's nice. It is nice to see. And like I said, I think Adelaide from the wing forward, and I think I said this prior to the Saints game. I was like, man, they are so scary because everywhere from the wing, forward, is such a good team. Like their midfield's amazing. Dawson, Crouch. You look at these kind of guys. You look at their forward line, which we've already spoken about. Yeah, Saligo, who is just dominating. You look at these players, and you're like, man, they're going to be so good. And they're young too. Rankin's not old. Philthorpe's not old.
Speaking of Rankin, how's the balls on Nix just to sit there and go, you know what? You've just kicked one of the goals of the year, and you've decided to go on. We'll get
off you go, mate.
Give it a go.
Halfway through the third quarter, he just goes, fuck off, Rankin. Off to the sub bench you go.
We've got a first round draft pick sitting there with a vest on. You're getting off, Chief. Go on. Piss off. Have a shower.
I reckon Isaac would have liked that, actually. He would have been like, you know what? That's fine. Whatever.
Do you know what Nixie actually should have done? He should have come into the press conference, sat down, and looked directly down the barrel and said, I am so sorry to all the fantasy pundits out there.
I was just about to say, what a week to not have Rankin in Supercoach. Huge.
Imagine sitting there going, fire, he's dominating. He's going to get so much more. Yeah, come on. I was up. Ken does that this week with Horn Francis against Essendon. I swear to God,
I will go to Marvel and
I will do the sack Ken sign. I don't care. No, but the Crom are looking very, very good. One other thing as well. Friday night. Yes. Talk about a fun game of footy. And we sat there, we were just texting back and forth because how good it was. The one thing I did think and I took away from it, and I don't know if you particularly, I know you want this, just change the name of Footscray.
Yep.
Also, by the way, Bob Murphy sitting there reading the book.
Reading a book.
was kind of a bit left field. And I thought he was, when he was reading the book, I thought he was going to read off whether locations Jamara has been except the Western Bulldogs.
Man, there was some damaging things this weekend about Jamara. Oh, boy.
Come on. Should you attend your club's 100th year celebration?
Went to the NRL, went to the NBL, and was at a... and this is very Melbourne of me. He was at I could tell by the photo that went out on Friday night that he reshared to his story, which is just...
Stupendous.
Just interesting thing to do. He was at a place called Mother's Milk, and I know this because I know this bar. And so it's in Brighton.
Oh, I know that bar.
It's in Brighton, and I knew the wall behind him. I saw the photo. I was like, he's at Mother's Milk. But anyway, instead of going to the Footscray, instead of going to the Footscray game, he was there, and that's the kiss of death. I think that's I will say it now. And we're not going to get into the weeds of why he's playing, why he's not playing, because it's not up to us, it's up to the Dogs. But I don't think he plays for the Dogs this year. I don't think he plays a game. I don't think he's going to get sacked from the Dogs, but I don't think he plays a game. I think he won't make it.
I said in my bold predictions to get traded at the end of the year.
You're in an unbelievable state of mind.
I honestly think he's watched that and gone, you know what, let's make Ant right.
Yeah, good call. Good call from him, actually. I like that. But no, he's obviously, there's a whole different situation. Footscray, I thought were very unlucky on the day. I thought they were great. And just a good game of footy, like you said. And it's a shame because there was some unbelievable acts of the Dogs late. Libba's goal, Bailey Williams, incredible defensive effort that was just, now it's going to go unnoticed because they lost. But man, if they'd won, that's getting replayed every day, forever.
100% agree. That was awesome.
Yep.
He was unbelievable in that moment. I suppose we better talk about the person that everyone's talking about from the game, and we put him in our stupid sexy stats, and he may very well be the hottest property in footy. I loved I can't remember who said it. But if there's ever to be a first $2 million player in the AFL, I wholeheartedly it can't be a 30 possession, 1 goal a game midfielder.
It's not going to be a midfielder. It's not going to be a midfielder.
It will be the big. Give him the whole Jamara war chest.
Yeah. Everything you were going to pay him, give to Sam Darcy right now.
Lock him in for 15 years. Don't care what you have to do. Give him the longest contract, the most money. Keep him there. He will be a one-club player anyway.
I was about to say, the great thing about Sam Darcy is he's not going to leave because that family, the Darcy family, is Bulldogs heavy and they're never going to go anywhere. Sam Darcy, like you said, we used him for the Stupid Sexy graphic today. Here's a fun fact for you, everybody. My mother is a almost entire like Saints fan. She doesn't know a lot about football as a whole. Like she loves St Kilda, doesn't really care too much about what's going on. However, Sam Darcy is absolutely 100% her favorite player in the entire AFL, because every time she sees him pop up on a TV, she goes, that kid's going to be a star. And I'm like, Jenny, you're actually right. Good on you, because that's an incredible every time. I remember this fixture, Dogs versus Pies last year, when he dominated well. For some reason, he loves playing the Pies, doesn't he? At Marvel, under the roof, he kicked 4 as well, I think, and was unbelievable. And me and Mum watched that game together, and she was like, he's going to be one of the best players of all time. I was like, he's pretty close. He's a star. He is a star, Sam Darcy. And yeah, you're right. He should very well be the first $2 million player in the AFL.
And he's hot.
He is. He's a good-looking bloke.
Unfortunate for us singles. Being tall and handsome is a tough ass, man.
I'm looking at one. Hey.
How you doing? Already done Stupid Sexy, bro. We can't do it again.
Can't go again.
Was there anything else you had from the round that you learned? Anything?
I mean, like, nothing really crazy else happened. Carlton did Carlton things. Dogs lost. Bombers are bad. Tigers back down to earth. Cats got a bit of work to do. Eagles were good for a little bit, and then they weren't. Melbourne, bad. And Freo and Sydney, it was the battle of who is going to get scrutinised in the media next week, and Sydney won. So Freo is going to cop it for the next week until they probably beat West Coast by maybe 80 next week, and then it's all going to go back to normal.
One team we didn't miss in that one, that we missed on the weekend, was GWS.
We did miss GWS on the weekend.
Missed GWS. I think footy's better when the Giants play.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're a talking point.
Yeah,
it might be something they post on socials, or
they always do something. The Giants, I do miss them.
Yeah. So it was a giant hole in round 2.
Oh, jeez.
That was left.
Well played.
Sometimes my genius concerns me.
That's not the quote.
No, but I made mine. I know exactly what quote you're talking about, but this definitely wasn't going for it. Not my own quote.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway, should we go around the glass table?
We absolutely shall. My around the glass table in the wake of.
Oh, how good's Oscar Piastri? Anyway, go on.
Oh yeah, Oscar Piastri is very good. Chinese Grand Prix, well played. I don't know if we spoke about. Did we speak about it last week? No, we wouldn't have, because it would have come out after we recorded the Rumman, the mascot, the Tasmanian Devils mascot. I don't think we spoke about it last week, so this is a good lead into this, because it's arguably the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And here's a little backstory. Here's a little backstory on JT for everybody watching and listening to this. Now, when JT was a little 4-year-old JT, he went to a Wiggles concert, and was in one of the front rows. And there was a big, obviously Jeff, who was a famous Wiggle, was there, and the whole point of the concert was trying to wake him up. Towards the back end of the concert, and here's probably the earliest memory I have of me at the time, was towards the back end of the concert, there was a big blow up Jeff thing, like a massive blow up Jeff, like a big Christmas ornament thing. Anyway, big blow up Jeff happened right in front of me, scared the living piss out of me. I hid behind the seats behind me, sat there with my hand over my ears and just cried and yelled and screamed. I had a similar reaction when Rumman came onto my screen. Because that thing is the scariest thing I've ever seen. And I fucking hate it. I hate it so much. I hate this mascot, and I don't care how many Tasmanians are in my goddamn mentions being like, this mascot is good. It's not. It's a bad mascot. It's terrifying. 4-year-old Tasmanians everywhere are running and screaming and crying because Rumman is fucking trying to sign their little jumper.
Tears on my glasses.
It's the scariest thing I have ever seen. Horrifying mascot. Do not do that ever again.
Oh, I've never heard that story of the Wiggles. That's phenomenal.
Anyway, this is all a big long wind up to ask the around the glass table question this week, which was what are the best
He
mascots?
looks like a paper mache.
He looks terrible. He looks like a pinata. He looks awful, and it's just so bad. And there's the story of JT and his purple wiggle.
That's a clip. I
yeah.
want that build up right into it. And then I'm going to tag Tassie. And it's going to be the equivalent of when Sonic the Hedgehog, that's interesting. Hedgehog was released first
Got
in the
changed.
trailer and it was like, had to get changed. So it's like, if we start this movement, that thing will be less scary.
It's a horrifying mascot, but absolutely I agree. It needs to get changed.
Oh, that's funny.
And we asked what are the best mascots in the world of sport. I put in Thunder, the Port mascot, because he looks really cool looking mascot. And I did
Poor
Benny
bastard got bashed last year.
He got bashed last year, got smacked. I also put in Benny the Bull because Benny the Bull became very popular in the 90s when the Bulls were very, very good. And he became a very interesting mascot. Like he would actually have fun and like do things in stadiums and became a very popular mascot. So I asked what are the best mascots for you personally, first and foremost. What are your favorite mascots if you can think of any anyway?
I like the Metamucil ads. Have you had your Inner Health Plus today?
Didn't expect you to say. Oh shit.
Yeah, you said mascots around the world, so
I mean, it works. It works.
it's one of my favorites. You know, I really enjoyed that. Thunder's clearly one.
Oh shit.
You know,
Oh.
I like the Sharon footies they have at the moment. You know, they're quite funny. I'm not really a big mascot person. Tommy Thunder Power is probably my go-to man.
And the Metamucil guys.
And the Metamucil guys, because have you had your Inner Health Plus today?
Oh shit, that's funny. Oh my god. Well, yes, absolutely, bangers.
What's yours?
Well, I mean, I don't love the Saints mascot. It's just a guy. It's just a guy with a halo, really. That's all it is. It's just Trevor St. Barker, which is cool. But the Metamucil ones are very, very funny. Obviously, I use Benny the Bull there because he's a classic. I also love, and this mascot isn't even that good, but he became part of a really famous moment in the NBA, and it's Stuff the Magic Dragon, which is the Orlando Magic's mascot in the NBA. And he isn't a very popular mascot. He wasn't. And then in 2016, the best NBA dunk contest ever happened. And one of the players jumped over the mascot and did this incredible dunk. And it's arguably one of the greatest dunks in NBA dunk contest history. And the mascot became popular because he was part of this thing. So he, not himself, is one of my favorites, but him being part of one of my favorite moments ever makes him part of it. But very good anyway. We have an NBA themed one here from Fireball Raider, who used the gorilla, which is the Phoenix Suns mascot. And the Phoenix Suns mascot is just funny because it's usually with mascots, it's like someone with a really big head and a really big body and like wearing something oversized. This guy's just wearing a gorilla mask and just running around. He's a regular guy wearing just a really basically a morph suit with a gorilla mask on. It's great.
The M&M mascot that Sam Newman punched and deflated. That's another one. Not so much the mascot, just enjoyed the moment. Get the ball.
That is a banger. That is absolutely a banger. I mean, yeah, we've had a few again. People saying Benny and Tommy on Thunder. I mean, Instagram had two favorites, which was good. And then Renee said the Adelaide Thunderbirds mascot, which I'm sorry, Renee, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's that good.
A lot of fringe.
Severe widow's peak happening, and I'm just not all about it, to be honest.
Kind of looks like a limited edition Bratz doll.
That is exactly what it looks. It's the eyelashes. That make. We've spoken a lot about Bratz over the last couple of weeks.
We have. Yeah, we have.
Going on with us in Bratz a little bit, but
I'm a Jasmine girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Yasmin. Sorry, it is. Yeah.
Yasmin girl. Fair enough. With these, other than Thunder, what AFL mascot do you think is the best one?
Oh. Oh. I hate Carltons.
Yeah, Carlton's is boring. Just a guy.
I love the Western Footscrays because it's an actual dog.
Oh, I do love that they use an actual bulldog. That makes me very
I think that would be because we can't really use lightning and thunder.
a lightning bolt.
Can't really get that one going.
Understandable.
Not really Zeus, are we?
I was a big mascot man back in my day, so I know I'm a fair mascot enthusiast, I like to say. And I always used to love the Essendon mascot, which is Skeeter, Moz Skeeter Reynolds. I just think it's fun, like they didn't want to put a plane, so they're like, oh, we'll make it a mosquito, kind of thing. And I'm like, you know what? It's cool. It's got its little bomber helmet thing with the glasses. I'm a fan. I like the Essendon mascot. That's still about the one thing I like about Essendon.
Ascot Manor was a great game.
Fantastic.
Used to watch Brent Harvey tell me how to do a fend off.
Nathan Buckley's was a scoop off the ground, like a pickup off the ground. I remember that.
Yeah. I should bring that back.
I should.
Bring back Mascot Manor. That's very niche.
Players nowadays just don't have the same kind of like aura about them as like a Nathan Buckley walked past me at Marvel Stadium on Saturday, just by the way. And I fangirled so hard. I had a full like, it's Nathan fucking Buckley right there. I was like, holy shit.
Surprised he didn't get it out and just selfie it.
I was like, look at him. He had 2 buttons undone. I was like, Nathan, stop it.
Nathan Unbuttonly.
Oh, that's good. Oh,
anyway, should we get our tips in?
Absolutely. Let's do the tips. Oh, goodness me.
It's a good way to segue into from
Nathan
Unbuttonly. Buckle up.
Oh, boy. Oh, man.
Sometimes you just got to sit back and enjoy the show, as Hutto says. Just before we get into the tips for round 3, should just shout out the top 3 at the moment. Baz's Ruse is comfortably beating us all at the moment. He's thoroughly enjoying himself sitting at the top. Kate, with Kate, what is it? K816. She's sitting in second on 15 with a margin of 61, which is ugly. Oh, it's not one of the lowest, actually. I'll get that in a second. But Flag Blues 24 has been around the mark, still sitting there, got 5 tips as well. And Buzzer and Kate got the 6 each, and sitting comfortably at the top ahead of the rest, which is a very tight-knit field after that. The lowest margin at the moment is Tyson, who is on 39, comfortably ahead of anyone else. Just want to let you know as well that I, myself and Anna Cara, decided to nail the margin. So did Isaac, and so did Nathan, and so did Scott. Right, I didn't realise I was that.
There's a lot of people that got the margin right this week.
I was very happy with myself actually getting the margin, and apparently so was everyone else. So anyway, here's what it is. We kick off round 3 Thursday night. We're getting out of the way early, aren't we? With a Port Adelaide Essendon at Marvel Stadium. This game has a lot more riding on it than people think. Essendon need to bounce back, otherwise it'll be 0-3. And Port Adelaide, 5-day break with a lot of injuries with Lukosius, Jones and Burton all out this week as well. 5-day turnaround, but Port Adelaide's second home is Marvel. Who are you tipping?
That was literally about to be my first point, is that if there is one team... Right, so here's the rankings of teams at Marvel. It's St Kilda against Geelong. It's St Kilda against Carlton. These are just the teams at Marvel. And then it's Port Adelaide versus anybody. That's the 3 right there. And Port love playing at Marvel. They've beaten us at Marvel several times over the past couple of years, and I've been at every single one, and it doesn't get easier any time. And I think Port, regardless of their injuries, obviously the Lukosius one's interesting, but they've been without him before. And I also think like he's definitely not their most damaging forward. And then the other 2, I mean, Burton's Burton's spent more time on a massage table than anywhere else. So I don't think he's all that much, to be honest. I think they're going to be fine, Port, and I think they're going to win. I'm going to go Port by 24 points.
That's it's the first time anyone outside of Port Adelaide has said that, and it's very funny.
Every time I watch Ryan Burton, he's injured. I'm not even kidding. Every time I'm like, oh, Ryan Burton's playing. He's injured that game. That's it. Every time, no matter what.
The best part about it is we sat there and the last quarter they were coming down my end where I was sitting, and I'm just watching him parked at full forward. I don't think Port realised how bad his injury was, because he was moving like an 80-year-old without a cane. Like it was, they went to him every time, and it was bad.
No matter what.
I'll tip Port by 21. I think a close game, a lot closer than people think.
Yeah,
And
I don't think it's going to be a belting, but
I'm not 100% convinced either with Port yet, but we'll see on Thursday night. Friday night is probably one of the games I'm more intrigued with than anything else, because Carlton need a win. Otherwise, we're 0-3. And the Dogs coming off a good performance against North, which is a lot more credited now, and then a great performance against Collingwood, which I really could say they got robbed. Who are you tipping?
This one is really interesting because Carlton lose this, you can just about
that Marvel too.
Yeah, Carlton lose this, you can just about write them off. Because you just
I'm not writing anyone off this year.
I know, and I know Carlton was like 15th that time and then made the 8 and stuff, but it's just Carlton looks so disinterested right now. This is going to be really interesting because last week I was like, yeah, the Dogs have spirit. They're going to win. And now this week I'm like, I don't know if they got enough spirit. They might have used all their tickets. I don't think they had any injuries on the weekend, which is good too. You know what? No, I'm going to go with the Dogs again. I think the Dogs are going to win it. Just because they're in great form. Obviously beat a pretty good North team now that we can see, and we're really close to Collingwood. And yeah, like you said, probably should have won it. So any of the Dogs, just because I think Carlton's not quite there.
I'm going to take the Blues. One thing I've sort of developed over the years is a benefit of the doubt for teams, and
Carlton is that team.
They're my benefit of the doubt, and I think that they'll just sneak this one home. If they play Kerno somehow, I think without, the Dogs in the air last week did get beaten a lot, and I don't think their defense is quite as steady. So I think the Blues will get the job done in a tight contest at Marvel. But one we look forward to next is the D's versus the Suns at the MCG. Now, either side, I'm going to tip this first because I generally think this is my lock, and I want to get risky with my lock this week.
Oh.
I'm tipping the Suns.
Interesting.
And you can put the key in it, lock it up, and throw it into the water, because I believe the Suns are the reason. They're the reason this year. They're going to be the difference. This is their second away game now because they've had a bye last week. They're going to have to do it tough early, so I think they'll beat the D's. D's are nothing.
This lock that you've done becomes even more interesting because I'm going to tip the D's.
Oh.
I think that they are so much better than their performance against North, and I don't think that the D's are great. I don't think they're a great team, but the performance they put out. Yeah, the performance they put out against North was not them. And you still look at that team; they still have a lot of great players on that team, like a lot of great footballers. And I just think Gawn, Track, and Oliver aren't going to stand for what they put together on Sunday. And so I'm going to tip the D's purely because I'm not fully sold on Gold Coast yet. They need to have one more away win for me to be like, yeah, they're right.
This is the one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they win this one, then I'll fucking nearly tip them for the rest of the year, just about. Unless they're playing absolute superstars, I'll pretty much be like, yep, Gold Coast, I'll back you in. I'm still not sold on them. I'm going to tip the D's, and this one is a bit of an upset, but it is very close. Looking at the betting odds here, $1.90 Gold Coast, $1.94 Melbourne. It is a line ball, this one, just about. So very interesting.
St Kilda, Richmond at Marvel.
Good at football we are. I'm tipping the Saints. It's the last Maddie's match. Tend to play well in Maddie's match. We've beaten Richmond most times at Marvel. The last how many games we played against Richmond at Marvel, we've won. Beat them last year, beat them the year before. Richmond, obviously, as we know, they shocked in round 1, went back down to earth in round 2, and I think they're going to pretty much plateau around that spot for the next sort of rest of the, for a while. So I'm going to tip us the Saints, just because I think we're going to be too good.
Yeah, same. I think you'll be very, very good once again at Marvel. Swapping time slots we are, because you're...
I was going to say we're the 4:35 and you guys are the Thursday.
You can have the sloppy seconds. Enjoy that one. Ka-chow. Hawks, Giants. The most interesting part about this game, not only is it a ripper game, it's played at night in Tassie.
You know what's great about this? When Tassie got this game, they were probably like, oh, yeah, it'll be all right. Now it's between two genuine premiership favourites at 7:35 in Launceston.
Even better about this game is the fact that this was a solo game up until opening round.
Yep.
Now
it was too. Should have been on its own.
So it wouldn't have been broadcasted on 7. It would have been a Fox game in Tassie on a Saturday night. And now we're going to have Channel 7 broadcasting Brisbane Geelong. So who are you tipping in? Give me both of the games.
I was going to say, just quietly, two very good games of football on Saturday night. It's going to be tough to watch both of these. Hawthorn GWS, I think, is going to be one of the games of the round. Two hot teams playing right now. And I'm on the Hawks train, and I said at the start of the year, I think they're going to be really good. And Hawthorn and Tassie are fantastic. Hawthorn and Tassie are way better than anyone seems to admit. I'm going to go with the Hawks, but I think it's going to be a great game of football. And then Brisbane GWS, I don't think it's going to be as good. GWS, Brisbane Geelong. Brisbane, I think...
Did a Kelly Underwood there.
Yeah, Brisbane beat the Suns in the grand final, apparently.
Clash at the MCG. Last day in September.
In front of fucking 50,000 people.
Katy Perry singing Raw.
But no, I think Brisbane's going to be too strong for Geelong up at Brisbane.
I'm tipping the Giants. The only intriguing factor about this is, for me, is how the bye affects teams.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be intriguing. So if the Giants come off the bye and they're shit, then I'll know I've done wrong. But I back them. I think current form, grand final day, these two.
I was going to say, two of the top 3 premiership chances right now, Hawthorn and GWS.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm tipping the Lions at the Gabba. If this was anywhere else, I'd probably lean maybe towards a bit more of the Cats, but at the Gabba, they find a way. They find a way. Sunday, we got the 2 games here, the Crows and North. This game was a write-off right up until 5:30 last weekend on Sunday. So...
And now it's not.
Now it's a North at $6. I know.
I was about to say, what's the line like on that? What's the if you were a betting man, and I unfortunately cannot be, but if I was to look at the line of that game, it's probably pretty high, and I think North are almost certain to cover it because $6 for North is high, and the line is at 39.5. There is no way North Melbourne lose this game by 8 goals.
They can, because it's at the Adelaide Oval.
That's true. That's a good point. That is a
but
good
it's
point.
Also a game, if North win, I'll be like, holy shit, we've got a top 8 contender.
Yep. North win this game, if I can pencil them in for being right there towards the end.
But I'm not convinced, so I'm tipping the Crows.
Neither am I. I think people also need to remember that North have lost a game this year. It's not like they're undefeated. They have lost this year, and Adelaide are flying, especially put them at Adelaide Oval. Yeah, Crows are going to win it.
And Derby.
Freo.
I think the more interesting debate here is Derby or Derby. What do you go with?
Derby.
Yeah, Derby.
I think they say Derby in WA.
No one gives a shit what they say.
They're a different country. It doesn't matter. But I am using my lock on the last game of the round. Freo's going to win this game. There is no way they lose this game, Freo. They need a game to bounce back. What better team to do it against than your crosstown rivals? And they have, in the past, fucking owned West Coast. And that might also be because West Coast have been really bad in the past few years. And I don't think they're much better. I think they jumped out to a hot start against Brisbane and then just spluttered their way to the line. Freo, I think, are a lot better. Like I said, they only lost by 3 points against the Swans. So Freo, my lock for the week, definitely.
My locks look like shopping bags. See?
The Freo one looks good. The other one looks like a shopping bag.
You're going shopping for tips. Shopping for tips. Anyway, that's round 3. Can't believe we're at round 3 already.
4 rounds of football. I mean, yeah, soon.
Yeah, well, good luck with your tipping. Make sure you put your tips in, and thanks, footy, for being so good to start the year. It's so unpredictable.
Very unpredictable. Absolutely. That's something that I am very much enjoying, is that football this year is good fun, and that's just nice to watch.
It's good fun because we won on the weekend. It wasn't good fun last week.
If we'd have lost, we would have been like, fuck, footy sucks this year. I don't even know why I'm watching.
This is a cricket start.
Cricket's only just ending. Season's just ending. You watched your mates on the weekend. My mates had their final on the weekend. The fact that there is overlapping cricket finals and like round 3 of the footy doesn't sit right in my brain. Doesn't fit well in here.
The other thing as well is the week after the final this weekend, local footy starts. And
round 1.
Sposs ball will be back. April 5th. What a weekend that is going to be. Sposs is back. Me up forward. Port wearing this beautiful thing. Mick Yamel.
Good football that week.
Sexy footy.
Sexy footy coming to your screens in 2 weeks.
Oh,
time.
I wouldn't say that.
Not screens. Sexy footy coming to your local grounds.
No, I wouldn't say coming either. But anyway, it's all good in the hood up. Anyway, we'll be coming to you live tomorrow. Anyway, okay, see you later. Bye. Anyway, nah, it's all good, lads. We're all right. Good luck this week to your teams, eh? We'll see you in the next episode, yeah?
Bye, everybody.
Because I'm in the thick of it.